everyone. Hey, family. How are you doing? Hey, Misha.
Hi, Crystal. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us and
Yes,
bearing with us. But we are here on a Saturday,
on
on
Saturday.
Mother's Day weekend. So happy
Yes,
Mother's Day, everyone.
that's actually what I was going to say as well. I want to say this is before the show because you know how we get. I'm going to make sure and say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, even the dog moms. I didn't think I was ever going to be a dog mom, but listen, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Let's get into it because this final, thank goodness we're on the final. I was about to say put a ring on it. This last episode of Rated Love was very telling. So let's go. So this is I love the pictures. First of all, all of these pictures are gonna be like this, y'all. So you got Precious, you got Carmen, and then you got Laverne. The big head in the back is Laverne. So Misha, I know you said that you were here for Precious and her antics, but that was the preamble to this. What did you think of um what unfolded?
With this particular scenario, I feel differently about the whole Demetrius thing, but
Okay.
with her, Laverne, and what is not Camille? What is this, her
That's
name?
Carmen.
Carmen.
That's Miss Powerful.
Um
That's poor Miss Powerful.
somebody lying. I agree with nephew Tommy. Somebody lying, and I don't think it's like it's weird that every time Carmen's name is in it, it's like somebody. It's like she's always saying somebody's lying. Like Sabrina lied about the phone call, and PO's lying. He did really say that, and so I'm like now with side eyeing Carmen like hmm.
Hmm.
But you know what? Precious, her personality is different. I don't think the way she communicates is different. So we'll get to that. But when you put Precious against someone like Demetrius, it's two different people, two different ways of communicating. So you can't say that one's this or one's that, especially when Precious believes she got a bad edit.
Okay, we'll get into the Demetrius and Precious of it all in a second,
Yeah.
but I do hear what you're saying about this because they really took specific details. She's like, "You called me at 9 o'clock a.m." Like
Mhm.
they were specific details, and Carmen's like, "I did not call her," and I said, "Carmen, these are specifics." Like and the way Carmen was on the show and just the little jabs she would take, I started to believe it. I'm sorry. I started to believe now how somebody else interprets it. Now how was his
Right.
name? Laverne interpreted it, maybe totally different. But honestly, I believe that she placed some phone calls and uh she wanted to maneuver some things. She was trying to do some maneuvering. And then so Sabrina said, because Sabrina was never checking for Laverne. So Laverne, she was happy with Sabrina saying, "Well, I'm not checking for him anyway. He's always been on my bottom." She's like, "Okay, cool with that." And so she went on to the next person. I kind of believed him because it was so specific. I was like, "This is, you know, you know, this is specifics. This is not." And her saying, "No, I never called him. I never said that." Come on, Carmen. You probably did
But
say
it's and you have three women saying the same
same
thing. Precious,
thing.
Sabrina, and Ace were pretty much saying the same thing. Carmen was trying to break up the couples.
Yes, she was saying this specific, and it's three people. It's not just one person. She's like, "No, I never called them. I never said that." Come on, really? That's all, and
Mhm.
that's your only backup is that you just didn't do it. Monique said, "Carmen, Sabrina, and Tina all have a big little lie problem." I don't know. Yeah, if I was Precious, I would have brought printed phone receipts. Mm. If Carmen lied about that, then she might be lying about the
Right.
calls
That's
to
exactly what I
Tina.
was thinking about was that Paul thing. So it's like, is she lying about that? But we'll get to that too, because I really wasn't following what Paul was saying either. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, so now here we are. So I really listened to what Demetrius said while she was already on one, basically. She was already she kept saying bruh and she was cussing and Tommy was like, Precious, the language, Precious, bring it down. And Demetrius said something funny. He said, you've been on one this for hours this whole time, this entire day. He said, you have been on one this entire day. And I do believe I was watching her in the earlier segments and she was really put out. She was really annoyed. I hear what you're saying, that the edit and what people have perceived her and this interpretation of her has really got her feeling away, and she was angry and uptight this whole time. So when they got to her segment, she was ready to fly off the handle. I
mm-hmm.
just think that, and now I hear what you guys are saying about calling her, are you drunk or are you on something? He shouldn't have said that, but I do think that she was on one the whole entire day. She was uptight and frustrated about the edit or about how people perceived her to be a party girl or what have you the entire time. So when it came to Demetrius, she was ready to fly off the handle. I'm sorry. I just believe that I could see it in different segments. She was already on one. I do think that she had gone too far. Um, and she's like, "You're a party. Uh, you're disparaging my character." What did he say before when he called her drunk and everything? And that's when she had it. She was done, and they just could not. They couldn't stop the beeps. It was gone. She was gone. Um, and I hear what you're saying about them having two different temperaments. Yes, Demetrius. But honestly, if you know that that's his temperament, and everybody is just like, oh, he's this, that, and the other, then you're going to come off as the angry black woman because he is so calm, because he is this person that's not moving. He hardly moved. He had moved his hand a little bit, but he really hardly moved. And you're like this, you're going to come off that way. So and she was just like, nah, bruh, I don't care. I don't care a lick about you, bruh. I was like, Precious, calm down, Precious, calm down. So go
But
ahead.
she's been aggressive this whole season. Whether it was someone she's attracted to, I maybe aggressive is probably not the right word, maybe assertive, but
Listen.
she's been in everyone's face. If she likes someone, if she thought they're attractive, she was very verbal about it. She was very straight to the point, very in your face about it. So now that she's upset, I'm not really phased by her reaction at the reunion of her getting a bad edit and be labeled as a party girl. I'm like, it doesn't phase me because this is like, she's been very verbal this whole season. She's that type of person that if she feels it, if she thinks it, she's going to say it, it's going to be known. So when she came to the reunion, like, I got a bad edit and it's all your fault because you said party girl, you pulled me to the side and you said I didn't have any depth. Like, there's all those things that are going on. So I was like, okay. I mean, I get it. It's Ready to Love, not Love and Hip Hop. They don't want the cursing. They don't want the almost fights. I get that. But I was just like, okay, Precious, like, that's how you feel. That's how I took it. Demetrius, he barely said 2 words this whole season. Now you want to come to the reunion and I feel like he was antagonizing her. I felt like he was kind of like poking the bear, because why do you want to keep going on with it now? Like, you had connections that were trying to pull more out of you and you couldn't give them nothing. But now Precious is here upset about this, and now you got time. Now you can put an effort to that. So I was side eyeing Demetrius a little bit because I'm like, where was this mouth? Where was this assertiveness when these ladies were asking of it from you?
I will agree with you about I've been side eyeing Demetrius the whole season, Dimitri, whatever. But and Precious is somebody that's very passionate, and she's outspoken, passionate and outspoken. I do look at her as passionate and outspoken. I just think that because you're passionate and outspoken, and you're angry, you have an issue with Demetrius because he called you
Outgoing. Okay, outgoing is a better word. Sorry.
outgoing. I think passionate and outgoing, passionate and outspoken. I just think that, like you said, if she's thinking it, she's gonna say it. But I don't think that she's, yeah, like we said, it's the aggressive is the wrong word, definitely. I just think that she just went too far. I will say, him saying, "Are you on drugs or are you drinking?" That's too much, but it says something that even not even in this segment, but in other segments, it looked like she was put out, she was angry, she was frustrated about something. Like, she, even in segments where she was just sitting there, I was like, you're something's eating at you, and we don't know what it is. I could definitely tell that her energy was just on 100. She was on 10 the whole episode, whether it was her segment or not. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I hear what you're saying, that they're two different personalities, two different temperaments, absolutely. So, but her and then all the ladies running after her and saying, "Precious, don't leave. Just don't leave. Don't." It's almost like, well,
She
not
needed
almost.
to leave though, because at that point she was gonna start throwing hands. So
This
she
man,
needed to leave
this man,
at that
but
point.
you gave him your power when you just,
Right.
she said, "Where's my ish? It's time for me to go." She was like, "Where's my bag? I'm out of here." I was like, "Precious, don't leave. You're giving him your power, and you need to just calm down." And if you believe yourself that you got a bad edit or you got a bad rap, then stick with that. Okay, this is so funny. My name is Pete O, because I deliver. My name is Pete O, because I deliver. Okay, so
Where do we even begin? Because
I
there
think
was just
because,
so much going on
right, I
with
kind of
Paul
want,
and these ladies. I guess we'll
yes,
start with Carmen.
I know. Oh, I
She,
want to start. I kind of want to start with Tina.
okay, let's
Start
start
with
with
Tina.
Tina.
Tina said that he is a lying. Tina said he is a liar. He wanted me to leave the show. And he's doing this. He's not doing this for love. He's doing this for his book deal. I was like, yo, Tina was on one. She was so frustrated by the whole scenario and by all of Paul's antics that she was just done. She was just done. It was so funny. And then she was on Kamisha Reviews today. Shout out to Kamisha. But Tina said, "I need to clear the air." I guess Paul has been just talking bad mouthing her this whole week and saying um just all kinds of crap about her. And it's not okay. It's not okay. He needed, yeah, he's trying to create his own narrative. That's what I think. Go ahead.
I do believe Tina. I don't know if it was a book. I don't know what type, like, I don't know what type of book Paul would write. If it was like a pickup lines book or something, like conversation starters book. I don't know. But I here's the thing with Carmen and with Tina, I don't think they're 100% lying. They might be exaggerating, they might be filling in the blanks a little bit, but I don't think they're just pulling these things out of thin air. So I think there's some context to what they're saying. It makes very much sense for Paul to be on the show to promote something. The way he was floating around trying to make a connection, like the way he just dropped Carmen like a bad habit, I was like, okay. And then you're trying to read all these poems and lines to Dakia, and it did feel like he was trying to force himself to be attracted to her, which is kind of what Carmen's saying. Like, he doesn't have that initial fire for Dakia. He has to find something about her to get him like revved up for her. And that's what it seemed like every time they interacted when he is saying all these lines to her.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with that. He needed something extra for her. I didn't like that at all. Um, the thing with Carmen, it just seemed like, yeah, the that there was lies being told on that end as well. Um, this is the scene that I was talking about with Precious, that Precious said that Paul was, because she was defending him. I will agree with that. I was like, where did all this like fire come for Paul in the ladies' deliberation lounge? And then when she's one on one with Paul, it did seem like he was her daddy just trying to chat. Well, listen, this is how I'm a juggernaut. So, so I'm gonna
he
agree
is
with
a
her on that.
fool.
Yeah, what does Stay Tuned Review say? Name of Paul's book is called Dime Shorty. Yeah, oh no, that's right. He said he got himself a dime piece shorty or something like that. Now he's got himself a girlfriend soon at Barnes Noble near you. But I do think that he came off. I didn't like the way he came off when she was one on one. She was actually trying to have a
Yeah.
conversation with him. So Precious was like, how are you coming off like you're trying to like chastise me or something like that? So I agree with that. They did seem like they had um a good, beginning, and then it fizzled out really quickly. But Carmen said the same thing, that her, was it Carmen or no, Tina. Tina said the same thing, that her and Paul had a really good first conversation. But after that it really fizzled. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh no, I thought you were about to say something.
No.
Yeah. It looked like they fizzled. What did you say about Carmen and Paul, though? Did they?
It was like they were strong. When he was a Chill Bill, he seemed very much still interested in her. And then it was like when they got to the street, he wouldn't even make eye contact with her. I'm like, what happened? And
Right.
it was kind of like what Tina said. Tina said he got mad because he didn't meet my ex, and who was it? Demetrius did. So I do sense a little bit of pettiness, and even though they're trying to label Tina as the ghoster, which she is, I feel like
Hmm.
Paul has a little bit of ghost in him,
I
in the
agree.
sense that he's so easily like turned off, or if you don't give him what he wants, he's out.
I agree with that. I think he did. If he's turned off, or if he's not interested, he's out. Just like at the retreat, Carmen was like rubbing his bald head. She was trying to put herself in there, and he was like, eating his porridge, or whatever. And and you could tell he was no longer interested. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Okay. You go first. What did I meant to change my name to what did Joy say? Well, damn your
Context.
yeah, 'cause she said, did she say F your context? That's what I was gonna change
Yes.
it to. Damn your context.
This was such an ugly moment. I
Yeah.
was like, I didn't even like Dakia that much. I wanted, yes, there were times where I was like, Dakia, just move on. Dakia, just take it as a sign. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, Clifton was wrong in the way he handled Dakia. There should have been more verbal communication. And I think it's real easy to get real rah, rah, rah and big and bad once you have that commitment from Clifton. Because Joy wasn't showing that on the show when he hadn't made his decision yet. So then to come back and say, well, it was obvious. Everybody knew it was Clifton and Joy. I'm like, girl, please. And then for them to show you all those clips of Clifton telling Dakia, there's still room for you. There's still room for our connection. There's still time. And for him to, right before the resort, be telling her, I want to take time with you to cuddle by the fire and do all that stuff, Clifton is wrong. And I'm like, you are sitting there watching these clips of this man telling this woman, basically making her think that there was still a little bit of hope for her. Should have Dakia just let it go? Okay, yeah. But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that The same lines Clifton was using on you, he was using on Dakia. So to try and laugh at Dakia because she had emotions for the connection ending is so juvenile. I was like, and I was like, you gonna get yours because you're not gonna get the last laugh. You might have got it at the reunion, but you're not gonna get the last laugh. And to be taught, never mind. We'll get into the whole house key and all that and the baby in March. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
But
I do want to get
I'm
into that.
like, you really think you're getting the last laugh and you won something? And to me, I saw the insecurities in Joy. Like, I feel like this season we focused on Clifton's insecurities, but it's clear Joy is clearly insecure as well.
Yeah, I do want to get into that, but what did you think about, was there, do you think there's any truth to, or it was taken out of context, that Dakia said, "I'll take your man from you," or
That wasn't her man.
true, good point. But do you think that Dakia said anything like that to Joy or or to anyone?
She said, I think I remember in her confessional, she said something like, "Oh, I'm coming for your man," because that was
Okay.
her whatchamacallit,
That was her
her
IT man. That was her, yeah. So, and see, to me,
connection.
connection.
So
That was a connection.
yes. So and for her to take it as some
And
like threat or something is crazy. I'm
it's
like,
personal. Yeah, she took it too
anyone
personal.
would say that.
I actually totally agree with you. I do think that this kind of showed more of Joy's insecurity and not Dakia's. I definitely, and even Dakia before she even let Clifton or Joy speak, she said yes, their connection is obvious. But and I stated that on the show. I said, you have a connection with Joy. I have a connection at the time with Eric, but are we still, in this together? And Clifton is the one that said, yeah, but you and I have a connection too. And even though he was like, well, since the truth or dare, it was obvious. So she was supposed to pull all the way back and let this unfold for you and Joy, and not try to, work the process, as everyone's calling it. And everybody's saying, well, if it was so obvious, then why didn't they self eliminate? Because they're better than Camille and whatever his name is, Corny. So they were like, let's work this process. Let's go through the process. But remember with the group date with Dakia and Joy, and he kept making comments about how the glass is shaped like a veg. He was very
Right?
much
They should
this
have added that clip in there too.
the sexual innuendo with the two of them, with Dakia and Clifton, was palpable. So, and it was in front of Joy. So so Joy, she was on one now that the decision's been made. So I do see what you're, yeah, I totally agree. I was like, Joy, you can pull back a little bit. You don't have to go that rah rah. To the point, I was like, "Are you just a tiny bit of a virgin of Precious that we're seeing?" I was like, "Come on, Joy, pull back a little bit." She was out there. She was out there. So yeah, I agree. I think the Joy, you didn't have to. I appreciate they look like they're genuine and everything, but
I'm
she did
not
not have
getting
to
it.
go there.
No.
We're gonna get into a little bit because the
First,
whole
I want to say, hey, Chloe. Hey,
hey
let the
Chloe, hey
ladies
let the
speak.
ladies
Hey,
speak. Yeah,
Kimberly.
I'm seeing all y'all coming in, but I'm talking, and I was like, I just want to finish what I'm saying. So yeah,
But I agree with Kirby. How a person treats other people is the same way they will treat you,
yep.
because that same passiveness he had with Dakia, as far as having that final conversation and that like hard conversation, he's going to do the same thing with Joy. And let's see if she's laughing then when she's in the dark, when he wants to move on or he's found somebody else. So, yeah. Ain't nothing funny. Like, shoot.
She said Kirby said Joy will get the house key, but never a ring.
We
Look
gonna talk
forward,
about that.
yeah, look forward to seeing her. I'll put a ring on it, and then that happens. Will be tuned into your channel. Yep. I thought this was a non. I was like, why are they doing this? I didn't even this whole. I guess they got to do a
Right.
segment on on him.
First of all, can we talk about this? Because does somebody is somebody watching your story, does that mean that they are checking for you? Because
No,
I sometimes my phone be just turning from story to story. I don't even mean to be watching people's story. I'm like, what is this? Who is this? I didn't even know I followed them.
right.
So for Wiley showed his immaturity with that one, because you gonna sit here and talk about everybody counted you out for your age, but then you're gonna do something so like juvenile, is talking about she watching my story every day, so she checking for me. I'm like, that's not what that means. Like, sometimes people just think your life is interesting, or they think you're funny and they want to watch your story. It's not they like you. So I was like,
I agree. I agree.
and that was with Kina when she said, "Well, that'll be the last. That's the
Exactly. I
last
was
view
like,
you
that's the
gonna
last
get."
time. And she could have been just like, oh, that's good. She's just trying to support. What if she just trying to support and just like the story? To me, I was like, this is the, oh, yeah, I see you watching my story. I see you checking for me. I don't think to me, that's not the same thing. But I also don't think like all the men now, oh, if you heart somebody's uh page, then that means you're flirting. I don't agree that somebody's flirting with me if you do that. I just think that you like my page or you like what I put up. So listen,
I did not know Wiley was that hurt,
yeah,
because
I didn't
I
either.
didn't know he was that hurt by the women thinking he was too young, but he was really,
Wait,
really
no,
hurt.
I
He
do
was
think that
upset.
he definitely felt like he got the young man's like Tom even introduced him as he was chasing the cougars. Like he definitely, oh, they just think I'm just too young for them. So I did get that part, but I was like, I don't think that this is as big of a deal as you think it is, Wiley. I just really didn't think it was that big of a deal. So um but him that whole I was not with him with Keena. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching your story no more, bruh. And then that's
Right.
yeah, I'm just like, okay, bruh, I'm done, bruh. Like like Precious said. Mm-mm. So and then Tiffany, I guess they've gone out on a couple of dates.
According, I watched her interview on actually Aubrey's channel, and they had like a whole relationship where Wiley was meeting her kids. He met her family, so it was serious. But he then did an interview on, I think it was Crystal Jordan's channel, and he basically tried to downplay it and say that Tiffany is, what is that word, like a hopeless romantic, or she too caught up in fairy tales type of thing. Like he tried. So Tiffany was upset about that, which was, she talked about it on actually Aubrey's interview. But it was, so to me, it's like the whole IG story, the way he did Tiffany, I just feel like he doesn't see himself. Like there's, and like
Right.
I've always said, it's not his age, it's the way he
It's
carries
the way
himself.
he
Like you
comes
couldn't
off.
even hold a basic conversation with, oh girl Tina, talking about, look at you, twin, look at you matching me,
All
look at
right.
you, yo cute self. Like,
He
nigga,
doesn't
sorry.
he
But boy, man, like get it together, because it wasn't his age. And the fact, like, he had time, he was on, Tommy gave him chance, like Tommy gave him special privileges, picked special blind dates just for him, and he could not hold the connection. That's not everybody's fault.
I agree. I think that it's totally the way he was coming off on the show, the way he came off with Precious. Um, it was just one tiny interaction with Dakia, and he's like grabbing on her leg, and that thing with Keena that really put me out because I was like, because she's looking at your stories. So what? Like, that means that she's thought, okay, he was a castmate of mine. Let me like some of his stories. Okay, great. That's it. That's it. That's really it. Stay tuned said Wiley gave an interview about a month ago or so, and especially admitted to meeting her kids, smashing and dashing all after 1 week. Wow. Mm.
Trash.
Hmm. Okay, so here is the ring. The ring in the ring box, that didn't surprise me at all because production, they like to do little stuff like that with the
Oh,
with the
sorry.
cards. Oh, bless you, with the
I couldn't mute
with
fast
the,
enough.
with the little will you or won't you? Bless you. So yeah, that didn't surprise me at all. What was funny was Tommy and everybody else looking down, and they said, "Oh, well, not the ring. What he didn't put a ring on it, he put a key on it or something like that." She's taking a break from the music or performing. So this 6 months stint, I'm sure she had already had a contract for it before she went on the show. So after this, they're supposed to take a break, and then that was interesting. We can talk about this now. They're looking at having a baby in a year. Um, mm, by March, she said having the baby in March or getting pregnant within March. I don't know because it's already May. So, um, yeah, he has a 3-year-old and a 15-year-old. Am I right? Or a 10-year-old?
And
He is
he's on his second marriage. Like he's been married 2 times.
right.
Is that
She would
right?
be if they get married, she would be the third.
Right.
Yeah. So, what did you? I know you have a lot to say on this. Go ahead.
It was a mess. I was just like, I kind of felt like them and Carmen and what is his name? Donovan, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was kind of like they were trying to overly prove that they're happy. Like, if you're
Yes,
happy, just be happy, be content. But it's like the whole, and I felt like the whole ring, not the ring, the key thing, I felt like she knew. Because if the love of my life, the man I've been dreaming of, gets
she
down
was
on one knee, I would have been acting a whole fool. But the
she was
fact that
sitting
she
back
was
like
calm
this.
and then was just like, "Oh, thanks," I'm like, "This looks planned."
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I'm like, key to a house, okay, but it, I don't know. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's not different. Like we already had a live about how certain people want marriage, certain people don't, that sort of thing. So like for me, that wouldn't have been a thing. Like that's not going to make me feel, I don't know, but
That's
it's
not
just
going
not for,
to.
it wasn't for me. It's not
Right.
for me. And I'm like, a ring, you just, or a key, you just got a house key and you talking about having a baby. So like,
They're
okay,
not.
I'm guessing they don't want to get married. Maybe it's too
Yeah.
soon to get married. But I don't know. It's a lot. It's just a lot because now you want to stop singing on the boat, and now you just going, I don't know, it's not for me.
I'm hearing you, and I'm
I
hearing
really want,
you.
I don't want to, because we don't know these people, so I don't like speaking on stuff that we don't know, but it's not for me. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not
I
for me.
A couple of things. Mona said, "Joy, please wait. You don't know Clifton well enough." I hear what you're
Right.
saying on that. I totally hear what you're saying on that because March. So if the reunion was this was filmed in February, this past February.
Right.
So that's what, a year. So March. Are you having the baby in a year from now? So that would be
It
a
sounds like they
year
were trying to have a baby in March.
in March.
But
That's what I
did
got.
they want the baby born in March or they're conceiving in
They
March?
need to
I
start
don't
now.
know. It
Right.
just seems very like fairy tale-ish and high
Mm-hmm.
schoolish. It
Mm-hmm.
it just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, it's not nothing
Yeah.
I'm striving for or trying to make goals or something. But
And Kimberly said, and I agree with Kimberly on this one. Don't get down on one knee to give me anything less than an engagement ring and anything less
exactly,
than a carrot. I know,
exactly. Because
you
if
know.
I would have did cartwheels and somersaults and you handed me some key, I would have punched him in the face.
I'll be like, what is this? No, don't get on your knee to give me this. No, get up, get up, get up, get up. I've exchanged keys with a man before, and I'm like, here, just don't be getting down on one knee. Clifton and Joy could definitely turn this relationship into a lucrative venture. Other past couples from RTL have. Start your YouTube channel, and fans will flock. Now that's true.
No, that's
No. That
You
is
got to
true.
have
The fans
something
will
to
flock.
say. Like if you're
No,
comparing them to Rashid and Simone and Joy and Jay, they
I'm not
actually have impactful discussions. Like their
right.
personality is magnetic. I don't get that
No,
from them.
no, I don't. I think that fans will definitely flock whether they have nothing to say or something to say. Because fans will flock just because they are, um, they watch the show. Whether they have something to say or not, I don't know that yet. Like looking at Rashid and Simone, their channel is different. You know, they talk about themselves in relationships, but then they've branched off and they've really done something. And Simone's doing something with her, you know, her law degree, and they're doing something more than just this couples thing. So I don't know what they'd have to say, but
But
fans will definitely. I think they'll
it's
flock.
I think it depends on the person. I think Simone draws people in with her bubbly personality.
Yeah,
Rashid is very logical and he points out different
very
things,
grounded.
so it works.
Hmm.
This I'm with Monique. I'm not flocking to that.
That's funny. Yeah, and I hear what you guys now. This Joy's behavior turned me off, and I won't watch that. I hear because I was like, Joy, why are you, why are you berating the kid? You don't have to. If you already got the man you wanted, and you apparently it was all obvious to everybody and their mother, then that's it. You don't have to keep harping on it and keep harping on it and keep harping on it. So yeah, I'm agreeing with y'all on that one. So this was full of a lot of information. This was full. This show, we really saw. I feel like this was the actual Joy too. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
yeah, this is really Joy. This is really Joy. I do think
Mm.
that honestly, and I agree with Stacey O earlier. She said, I think Precious did herself a disservice, an injustice becoming undone like that. I would have spoken my piece but kept my composure. I hear what you're saying, Misha, that she's a different personality than, or a different temperament
Yeah.
than old boy, than Dimitri. So no matter what she does, she's going to be passionate and outspoken. But I
But
don't
like
think
no matter what she does, she's gonna be doing too much with him.
with him, yes, but
Yeah.
she's also very passionate. She's also, but the cussing and the just, it was,
I liked it.
I,
I'm not. I like a little mess. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna like a little mess. I do, I would listen. It was on Kamisha's today, and I was like, "Yo, I was, you got to rewatch Gang Kamisha's review today." I was like, I was in it. I was like, "What did I walk in on?" So when you rewatch Gang, that you're gonna be like, "Whoo!" Uh, but I do think that she kind of did herself a disservice, because if they are already looking at you as this type of person, then, and you already talking to Dimitri, I don't know. Remember her like really trying to plead her case. Then girls, don't try to plead your case like when they were on the apparatus and then she's trying to talk to you. Don't, I was like, stop trying to plead your case. If this is you, I'm looking. Yes, I saw Chloe's thing too. I don't dislike Precious. I like Precious, but I just wish, she had come at him a different way and stop. Not. I didn't like the cussing. I didn't like.
I understand. I mean, I'm not gonna knock her for doing what she did the whole season. Like she's always been vocal, so I'm like, you shouldn't have been talking about her, Demetrius. You shouldn't have said nothing.
You should have said nothing. You shouldn't have said nothing. So y'all, we're gonna get into put a ring on it, but apparently there got some copyright issues, or no, I guess we
I
have
don't know
copyright.
what was going on. I couldn't get the
So
screenshots, y'all, for put a
can't
ring
get
on it.
the
So
screenshots.
y'all
So
just gonna have to bear with us, and we just
yes,
gonna make it do what it
we're
do.
just gonna go. You know what though? Um, yeah, let's leave Shorty and them for to the end. Let's go with Charlena.
Sherlana and
Charlana
Mr.
and
Otis.
Otis. Let's go
Otis.
with
You gotta say Otis. You
Otis.
gotta
The Otis of it
make that
all.
O.
The
Otis.
Otis. The Otis. So, first of all, I really hope that you guys did not believe this man was crying. Please tell me you guys don't believe that
It
he
was
was.
another tactic control. It was very much like, okay, I've never given you any effort. I've never shown you any emotion. Let me give you a little drop of emotion so you can think it was just something to
Wow.
keep her on the leash. Just it was something to keep her on the leash to reel her back in. Those were not real tears. And the fact, and it worked. It worked. Bye, Chloe.
Hi,
Thank
Chloe.
you.
Thank you. You go
But
go watch and leave us some comments, Chloe, because you
yes.
gonna love it.
But the fact that she like had to tell everyone he teared up a little bit, he got emotional. I was like, that's exactly what he wanted out of you, and
He
you're
did not
falling
tear
right
up.
back into the
Girl,
trap.
he did like this to his eyes, and then he probably plucked an eyelash. Girl, you guys don't know the magic. The act. This man is not an actor. He was not crying. He was not. He purposely made his eyes red, and he's so fair skinned that he knew he was gonna get a little red under his eye. I was like, this man is not crying, and
Right.
honestly, I was gonna him Otis, and Fonzie and Kenneth too a little bit. They wait until a woman is fed up and they're like, "Oh, now maybe I need to get some act right." You know, they wait until they've had it. They love and him and Charlana, they play this tit for tat game and the next thing you know, oh, she's really upset. She's really mad. She has not been sleeping in the same or she's just done this rollover thing. He said we've been all week just not communicating because she's mad. So now he want to pretend cry. I was like, girl, this man don't care. He knows how to get you. And he said, okay, fine. And he walked away and she's still sitting there. First of all, production told her to stay right there. And then he walked around the corner and production said, where are you going? And he was annoyed. He gave it 5 minutes and he came back around. They told him, come back and sit down. No, they should all break up. I totally agree with you. Let the lady speak. They should all break up. So, um, what's her name? Charlana. She said that he got upset because, and then the first date wasn't even anything to be upset about, but we saw how mad he was at the first date. So you remember, and then he said, you remember three things about your first date. You remember three things. So then he did the cooked all that salmon and wouldn't let her eat, or no, he listen. Um, then he did all these antics and said, "No, I'm not upset," or he apologized, but he really wasn't mad. She knows him well enough. She knew that he was going to do something back at him. So go ahead. You were going to say something.
I just feel like this is why Otis treats her the way he treats her, because it's like he shed that one little tear. Now she's all piped up and all happy because he showed a little drop of emotion. And then now she's making excuses for his past behaviors. Now it's, oh, he was just trying to get back at me for what I, but you said you were upset. You said he disrespected you. You said all these things and now you're making excuses for it. So it's like this is why Otis keeps coming back with the manipulation tactics, because she keeps showing like she gets real rah 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 and like I'm gonna hold my ground, you're gonna respect me, and then she's so it's so easy to get her off back off track.
Off
It's
kilter.
so easy to get her, so it's like it's clear Otis wants someone that he controls. He considers traditional, meaning the woman follows what the man says. And it's like, now at this point, Charlotta got to pick a side. Are you going to be the one that's controlled and trained by him? Or are you going to be someone that knows your worth and is not going to stand for the disrespect? Because now you see her wavering back just because she got that little inkling of emotion, which is like, I knew right when he did that, this is what he wanted. She's giving him what he wanted. And I'm
Absolutely giving him what he wanted. Stay tuned reviews. You really don't believe that this man walked home, do you? When she took that car, one of the boys gave him a ride home, or
he
production gave
probably
him a
got
ride
an
home.
Uber or
He got an
something.
Uber or something. But she took the rental car, and made Otis walk back to the house.
Not why do you say rental car? How do you know it's a rental car?
Yeah, but we all assume that they're staying in an Airbnb. But so whether it was a rental car, because it wasn't Mercedes, so maybe it was their Mercedes. Whichever. If I had a choice between the two, I'd rather be denied dry salmon than ride home. No, that man did not walk home. So that's one thing. I do believe that she did that on purpose by wearing that dress, that 1950s slash 2000 dress, and he was like, okay, so now she's trying to make me take notice. This tit for tat thing, like,
And polka
yes,
dots.
he's
I'm like,
controlling, and then she knows how to. She's like, okay, I know I need to get something to shake him, to jar him back into understanding that how much he upset me. So I'm gonna do this, and then what's funny is her making the comment. He said, "Oh well, you did look good in that dress. She looked real good. I like that dress though." And she was like, "Yeah, my date did too." I said, "Girl, you."
that's why I agree with Stacey. Oh, she said they are both master manipulators. They both throw their rocks and hide their hands.
Yes.
So it's like, then it's like, if you're so-called trying to make this relationship work, what was like, why do you need to throw in the digs of he was so fine and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking she's gonna give him another chance.
I agree.
The Odell Beckham lookalike, the great value version. But yeah, and it's like you had Brent, whatever the man's name was, a good man, an accomplished man, a man that's working towards something, and you stop the dates with him just to get with Odell Beckham Jr. so you can make Otis jealous. So it's like you deserve what you get at this point. And I think, yeah, this is why some women, like, you got to pick a side. Do you want the toxic stuff, or do you want a healthy, thriving relationship? Because some women say they want a good man, but when he's in front of them, they don't like that. They don't like what they're getting.
I'm not going to say that she gets what she deserves at this point, because I do think that he is controlling, and I do think that this double standard that he likes to pull is not just that he lied in the DM thing. It's also that he puts all of these stipulations on her, but then he doesn't want to adhere to the same stipulations. So I don't. I think that they should all break up. I don't think that she's right for him, and or vice versa. I don't think that he's right for her at all. But I also think that she likes the tit for tat. She likes the little the toxicity a little bit. And so she really needs to look at herself in the mirror some. No toxic relationships in 2022. Yes. Thank you, O. Thank you, Dr. O. So let's go to Shay and Fonzie.
Oh my God, is that his name now? It was it was interesting. I think it was interesting to see Alfredo, that's how we call him. But anyway, it was interesting to see that him say certain things like, I never thought she would leave me. I never thought like she would get fed up, basically. I got to make a change. And then when Dr. Nicole gave him that advice for talking to his child's mother, he's like, that's some real player stuff right there. It's like, it kind of shows his mindset. Like, I don't think he really wants to be this faithful husband that Shay wants. So,
he does the same thing a lot of men do, is avoidance, toxic avoidance, whereas, oh, well, I'll just avoid the problem and it'll just go away. Just like when he said
assumptions. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up.
Oh, I'm just going to make, I just assumed, well, when, excuse me, he said he hasn't been with the ex, and first, what's her name? Shay asked him, how long have you guys been broken up? And he said to my standards, she's like, oh, that's the problem right there. You think that you've been broken up for 4 years because they've been together for 3 years. So you think it's been 4.5 years, but your ex may think it is something else. Your mama don't think it's at all. And I feel like Dr. Nicole said the same thing, that this woman still wants to get back with you, but because you're just assume that everything, and because he said, well, we kind of just subsided. Like, no. And I've actually had an ex that just stopped, just, so because you just stopped calling, like, you know what I mean? So you guys aren't together anymore because you don't want to say the words, because you're cowardice, you don't want to say the words, I think we should break up, whatever words you want to say. Just like he thought that Dr. Nicole's, how she put it was some player stuff. No, it's just honest. It's just being a man. And I think Dr. Nicole called him on that and said, no, that's being a grown man. How about that? So him saying that her and his mother talk every day, and you haven't done anything about this. So Shay's family knows him and calls him Fonzie, and he's part of their family. But his family don't talk to Shay, don't know anything about Shay, and you don't think that there's a problem with that. And so Shay is like, she gave him an ultimatum, and I said, Shay, you need to really be like, when a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you can do about it. At this point, it's too late. I've asked for this for years, and I don't think she's going to do it. But I think that she needs to be like, I've asked for this, you didn't do it, and now it's time for me to go. If you don't make these assumptions, adjustments, it's time for me to go. But he's going to try something, do this last ditch effort. Oh, well, I thought that if we all got together, then everything will be fine. And then he'll do it the one time, and then the next time he's not going to do anything else. So she's going to keep having to make this adjustment. And I think Dr. Nicole said it. She was like, you guys had a major breakup, you got back together, but then when you got back together, you didn't discuss what you wanted now that you're back together. You didn't discuss what's the new thing, how you want to live now that you're back together. And honestly, and I think you said it last week, Misha, that she just let it go. She was like, okay, well, let's just wait and see. That's not what you wanted. That's not what you wanted. You wanted him to make these adjustments. You wanted a man to do it like this. And you didn't put the boundaries on him. I think that she's really coming to understand, I needed to put some boundaries on this man, and I didn't. And now it's too late. Now I'm just at this assumptions. Don't let one tell you they don't want you more than once. Yes, Al is playing games, and he is not ready to start. He's not ready at all.
Right.
Because he even said in his ITM that the baby mama still wants him back. And I was like, after 4.5 years, she still wants you back. That to me says that you've been saying something. You sit there and you smile and laugh at her like you do all the time. Mm-hmm. And you're not setting your own boundaries.
The fact I agree. I don't know if it's too late per se because here's the thing. I think if Alfonso's mindset changes, it won't be too late. I only think that for Alfonso, because you see he has a conscience. You hear him say certain things like, oh, she's hurt, I feel bad. Things like that, where other men don't have that, where they're like, you put up with it before, so nothing's going to change. So, and for him to say, well, I can't lose her, I got to make a change. I think he's getting it. Will he actually make the change? I don't know. But I think he has this different level of conscience where I think he can do enough. I think he'll do enough to get in Shay's good graces and get her down the aisle. Will he keep it up?
That's what I said.
Will he keep it up? That's the whole
do it one good time. He'll invite her over to the family event or the cookout, introduce her to everybody, and then that's it. Well, and then when she's like, well, what about this? Well, what about your mom's birthday? Or what about, like, let's have some more of these get-togethers? She was like, I invited you to the cookout. Like he's not going to do it anymore. He'll do it one time. I'm telling you, he's just not. He's not there. He's not there. And yeah, he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and I don't even like the fact that he. To me, you're 45 years old. Why are you asking Dr. Nicole for? Well, I guess she is the one to give the advice because she's there, but still. Mm, this is how your life has been going on. And I think he even said, me and my mother don't talk like that. So he doesn't want to do it. So let's go to Miss Shay. And I'm sorry, what's her name? Shorty, and um, oh,
Yeah,
and
there's only three couples, huh? Yes, Shorty
yeah,
and
Shorty
Kenneth.
and Kenneth.
What do you think of Kenneth's brother?
I okay. One, I could tell they're brothers. It's the South. We all know different, whatever. They're brothers, but I appreciated sometimes when we see the families, they're just kind of like agreeing with whatever somebody says and stuff, or it's just the family dynamic, or when you introduce a brother or a father. I thought it was going to be another kind of conversation like Otis and his father, but I
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that I like the brother. He said, listen, when you and her get into an argument, she calls mom and she tells on you. That's not cool. And it really, that was a trip to me, because I'm sure she don't tell the mother how she be breaking this man down to the white meat. I said, in all your conversations and telling her the mother how much of a horrible son you have, are you also telling her how you broke this man down and called him all kinds of stuff and said that he's out of his league and financially unstable and all this other stuff. So to me, I'm like, girl, when you're not happy with him or when you guys get into it, you call his mother. And so then the mother has to hear about it. Then of course his brothers have to hear about it. I like the brother because the brother was honest. The brother was like said, okay, so she's the puppet master and she's just really trying to play you like a fiddle. So I didn't dislike the brother. I liked him.
I like the brother. Monique, I noticed that I was waiting for him to season them steaks because he claimed he got a food
He
blog.
got a
So I
food
was
blog.
like, what seasoning he gonna put on there? And then I was like, where's the sides? They was sitting there with steaks and onions on. I was like, so y'all
Yeah,
just
he
go
even
sit
said
there
that's our.
eating meat? Okay. Uh, but I like the brother. Um, I think the brother is giving him great advice, and I
Mm-hmm.
I hope that Kenneth just moves on for at this point, because it's obvious Shorty wants out, and it's like she hasn't been successful in the past, so it's like she wants out. And gosh, sorry, I just lost my whole train of thought. But yes, the brother Kenneth, when he said something about, yeah, you thinking you going to my mom, but my mom gonna slap you. And I was like, what? And he,
Yeah,
like, his tone, his
his
body
tone totally
language, I was like,
changed.
I didn't like that side of him. Go
I didn't
ahead.
like that side of him either, but it's almost like how we talk about some now you got the motivation. Just like we were talking about with Joy, and now that they're
Mm,
one, now
right.
you all motivated to speak up and get some bass in your voice. So it's almost like now that you talking with the brother, oh now your whole demeanor's changed. You're on mute. Oh, yeah,
That's
now
okay.
his whole demeanor has changed, and I was like, where was this? And so it's almost like it takes him a lot to get there with Shorty. So I don't know. Or he does it only in his ITM, but he doesn't do that with her. So I just noticed that. And then the brother also said what was interesting. I don't dispute what he's saying though. He says Shorty has a temper, and I was like, because we know that what's his name, Kenneth, we keep forgetting Kenneth's name, but we know that Kenneth has done some shady stuff, like the screenshots of the bank accounts, and calling her work and stuff. Shorty calls the mama to try to get Kenneth's portion of the rent. Like, that's hilarious. but she has a temper. I'm not necessarily surprised at that. I don't.
No, you
I
could see her temper
don't.
when he took the phone and was screenshotting her bank records. And when she was asking for the phone back, when she was in that car, she looked like she was ready, like she done elbowed, side punched, side slapped him in that car before. It was like the cameras were there. She was trying to contain herself, but she looked like she was ready to just go off on him. So
Um,
I wouldn't be surprised. But if you're, again,
in that
even you,
instance, I
Crystal,
wouldn't be
if you
upset.
were dealing with Kenneth's antics as well, you would
Right.
be violent as well.
That's what I was about.
So
That's what I said. In that instance, I wouldn't be upset about that because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you need to, I'm shutting everything down because now you've manipulated my bank records and everything. But I'm talking like when they were just having breakfast, and Dr. Nicole said for them to just have a date, them one on one. And he didn't want to, he was like, let's just get back to the love. Let's get back to the love. And she wanted to talk about what the session was about. I said, you are getting angry. Like I said, I'm more look at when they're in just their everyday scene. I said, she got a temper on her. She got a temper on her. But that scene in the car, oh no, listen, you got my bank accounts, you called my work, really? That's my livelihood. So yeah. Yeah. So what did you think the scene with her mother, with Shorty's mother?
oh, okay. Um, um, I felt like part of me felt like they already had a discussion before. Like I felt like, again, like Shorty's on the show trying to present a case, and I felt
Mhm.
like the mom was a witness to come on the show, and she was supposed to come on there and talk about how Ken is holding her back and how he's doing this and doing that. So I was really trying to be nice. I really I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. But yes, I felt like she brought the mom on the show to be like, see, Kenneth doesn't
Mhm.
pay rent. See, Kenneth doesn't do this and do that. I felt like that's what the purpose of her bringing the mom on was for. It wasn't really to better herself or the relationship. It was just more so to prove a point. Um, but the mom says she likes Kenneth and she
Yeah.
thinks he's a good guy. So hey.
I agree with you on that. And that's what I was saying with the brother and Kenneth. I was like, this is just going to be another one of like, see, well, look at what I do for her. That type of conversation. But the brother really came with it. So with the mother, I agree with you. Like, and she said you gave him homework, but I said, did she just phrase it as homework and Shorty phrased it as something else? And they're really putting forth this narrative that he's a little kid, but if she gave him a year, finance is very important. We've talked about this before. As just a single woman, finance is important. You gave him a year to get his finances back on track, and he didn't do anything with it. And now you're looking to maybe get married. That's mm, I agree with you. She's like, see why I don't want to be with him. See why this, see why that. Yeah, she don't want to be with him. And I also think what you've been saying is that she does not want to be alone. It's very interesting because she definitely has a type. She definitely likes a man younger than her. So let's go to this date with Tavi. What do you think of Mr. Tavi? I know what I think.
His voice was a little high. I don't know. I don't. That was kind of bothering me. I was like, I couldn't really get into it because his voice was bothering me a little bit. the fact that she's attracted to neck tattoos says enough for me. But like I thought, like you just said, like I've been saying, the need, like that codependency she has, because it was like when she sat there and was like, you I think I'm gonna do you want to go on a third date? Is that something you want? And I'm like, he's like, yeah. It's like she needed that reassurance. And it was just like, that's not really, you just supposed to tell Dr. Nicole and then go from there. But the fact that she needed to hear it from him, and then she made another comment about, are you gonna stick around in case he leaves me?
That's what I was gonna
And
say.
so yeah,
Mhm.
I saw that, which makes me think like I she doesn't see herself. So it's like she will end up in other situations like Kenneth because she's not seeing herself and she's not changing what she needs to change.
I agree. She's like setting up, it's almost like they're setting up more dates, like there's something else going on, like the fact that you're having these conversations with him instead of production and Dr. Nicole, that was saying something to me, that the fact that she was like, are you going to be around to beat this man down when he comes for me because I'm dating you, or whatever she said. I was like, girl, like, why do you keep doing this? Why are you talking like this to this man? um yeah, they're just setting something up, and he was like, I got you. Yeah, and his voice is really high. It's higher than I like, but the he's just so young. I just like, I just him, and it's I do think that he's a little bit more enterprising than Kenneth, but they remind me of each other a little bit. As they just do. Not physically, they just kind of remind me, there's the same type. I just feel like they're kind of the same type. He may be a little bit more enterprising as far as financially and everything, but I just think they're the same type. Um and I think that that's her type. She just likes him a little younger than her, and I think that that's what she wants. She was like, let's ask some serious questions. So what do you want in a woman, or what? And I'm like, why? You don't want Kenneth. You didn't want Kenneth. And so now I really want to talk. Kenneth is getting fed up. Kenneth is getting fed up, and he's really taking notice. Um, he said, that's just
I
fine with
was
me.
listen, when she was gushing about Mr. High Voice, and
Yes.
then Dr. Nicole was like, so what do you think about that, Kenneth? And he's like, that's the same thing she said with me. She did the same thing. She used to talk about me like that. And then it was like, it was funny, but it's true. Like, this is what you do with every man you meet.
Yes, I
So
agree. I agree. I said, that's the same thing she said about me. There's the same type of attraction she had for me. She was just like, she was probably swooning all over. Like, she was like, whatever the definition of swooning is. I was like, she is just like, oh, all over Tavi. I said, girl, see, this is what happens. You go all in, and then you don't even know a lick about these men, and then you start, like, what, 6 months or a year later, you realize you don't like them. So I said, this is the same type. You're got the same type of guy. So she was hoping, and I also think that she was hoping it would make Kenneth jealous, and it probably is making him jealous internally, but um but he's just like, I don't care. I'm just stop caring anymore. I'm done. Hmm. Yeah, because I think that he's noticing, and honestly, maybe his brother put the battery in his back that he needed. So, what do you think?
I think that's true, because I think hopefully he did. Hopefully, because I think we Shorty's trying to paint the picture like he's so broke and this and that,
But
but I
it's all
think
him. Yep.
Kenneth needs to also realize, like, if you're not wanted, you don't need to be here. But
Yep.
then at the same time, who's gonna start paying his rent? Like, the brother talking him up, is the brother gonna let him sleep on his couch?
The
Like,
brother's
this
trying to get a
reminds
house in
me
New
of
Orleans.
Martin when Martin and Gina talked up Cole to go talk to his mama crazy, then the mama put him out the house, and then Cole ain't had nowhere to go.
Right.
So it's good that he's like getting more confident, pumped up, and starting to realize like he don't have to deal with this. But then there's the other side of it, like where he gonna go?
Well, maybe this is going to motivate him to I don't know, season the stakes and do a real
Yeah.
vlog or do a real channel because, sweetheart, um, you got work to do, but maybe this is what he needs to. Just the fact. Oh, I want to talk about real quickly what she said because she when they were all the ladies were in their little dinner. Um, Shay said, after everything, do you want to marry him? Shorty was like, no. She gave her a resounding no. And what she said right after that was very telling. She said, I just want him to realize that we're not enemies. And I said, this is what happens when they broke up the first of 5 times, whatever. What did he start following her? Like he started treating her like the enemy, like she was his enemy, doing all of the like taking her money or doing all these crazy things. And
Right.
she wants, and I think that you have everybody's saying this that she's doing this as a way to get out, and maybe she'll get some more connections, and he'll see that like the we're not enemies. That maybe I do need to. It's putting a little bit of a microphone or not microphone, a mirror, a
Mhm.
microscope up to him, up to
Mhm.
how things have been moving. So yeah, I just think when he said that,
Monique is silly.
yes, yeah, all the ladies had a little conversation, and just like last week when the guys had the little meeting at the pool hall, the ladies had a little mock dinner, and yeah, Shorty said that she was like, no, I'm not gonna marry. Like she did not. She doesn't want to marry this man. Mm-mm. She want to fool around with Tavi.
Right.
I don't blame her. He is fool aroundable. That's it.
I don't know. That high
Like,
voice makes me think that maybe his testicles ain't dropped yet or something. But I don't know if he quite full aroundable. But he would be a nice little, I don't, maybe a rebound or something. Maybe some, I don't know. Let me shut up. Let me stop
that
talking.
is hilarious. First of all, stay tuned. Said she should have asked Hollywood to help her move out and take care of Kenny for her. That is, you dig, y'all. You dig. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you guys so much. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all of you. Happy Mother's Day to
Yes,
Misha.
happy Mother's Day.
Miss Thing is behind the screen, and just just love, just want to give love to the mothers.
Yes, make sure you tune in to Crystal Annette. She will be doing her, it's not a panel discussion. Let's say
Interview.
discussion
Yes.
in an hour and a half. Is that
Yes, at
correct?
8 o'clock, me and uh first home tuber, we're gonna be talking about personal mastery. We're gonna be talking about singlehood. So yes,
Yes.
let the lady speak. She was on Let the Lady Speak on Thursday night. Please rewatch that episode. And now she's gonna grace Candid Convo with Crystal tonight at 8. Thank you guys so
Thank
much.
y'all.
Happy
Bye.
Mother's Day. Bye.